In this video, I'm gonna be reacting to the FX show The Bear. This is gonna be Carmy's 7-minute monologue piece where Jeremy Allen White is the actor, and he is revealing kind of his story in this Al-Anon meeting. Let's check it out.
My name is Carmen. My brother's an addict. My brother was an addict. And this morning, sorry, I forgot. Before I came to Al-Anon, I was a cook. I mean, I'm still a cook. I'm just a different kind of cook, I guess.
This is all a monologue. So nobody's breaking this dialogue on the way through. This ends up being a trickier thing for actors, especially at the beginning of their careers, because they haven't really understood and have fully grasped what it means to live in character with a character's thought. Therefore, they tend to like it when they have dialogue to say, but when they don't have dialogue to say, like in these moments where he is sitting and waiting, a newer actor doesn't know what to do at that time because they're not engaged with the character thoughts and the processing and all of this stuff, which does require the actor to fill all of that in. We would consider that adding in the facts and the details. So as he's talking about his brother that he doesn't have, this is an actor, you know, portraying this character, and the character as a brother that has died, and the actor has to make that make sense and be grounded into those choices. So you would have to make that real. You would have to add in those facts and the history that supports all of this, and the daydream to support it, and the images, and the life that they've lived, and that relationship. And you got to stew on all of that. You got to sit with it to make it real in here. Or I said you got to take the work from living on the page to living in your body. You know, it's got to live in your heart, in your body, and in your mind. And if it doesn't, then you're not able to live in these moments of silence where things are happening, where you can see the wheels spinning, where you can see the character experiencing emotion and getting fragmented. But the only way to do that, these aren't scripted things, but this is the actor filling in all of that so that you can have a performance like this that's nuanced but strong and emotion filled and completely and totally believable because the actor has done the work to get us there.
My brother and I, we would cook a lot together, especially when we were kids. You know, that's when we were closest. Food was always our common ground. We wanted to open a restaurant together. We had a name, we had a vibe, all of it. My brother could make you feel confident in yourself. You know, like when I was a kid, if I was nervous, I was scared, I wouldn't want to do something, he'd always tell me to just face it. You know, get it over with. He would always say, stupid. He would always say,
So even that moment, well, now we're in a tighter shot, which is good. I love that first shot, but this tighter shot, we get to see more of like what's going on behind the eyes. But you can see how nuanced it is as he finds these and recalls these memories. Again, these memories don't exist. This is an actor. These memories have to be created so that he can actually have these things to recall as character. There's a lot of work that goes into making something like this happen as it is, but you can see those little nuanced reactions as these thoughts come into his mind, and he has these kind of micro reactions as he's seeing them because he's created them.
let it rip. He was loud, and he was hilarious. And he had this amazing ability. He could walk into a room and he could take the temperature of it instantly. You know, he could dial it.
There's two ways to play something, and only two. You are either going to be playing an emotion, okay, acting it out and faking it, or you are going to be experiencing it as character clearly, This is a capable actor that is able to experience in the moment. Most actors at this level are. They're all doing this. Newer actors find it eventually if they will get to the spot of being a working actor. But that's the difference. This isn't phony. This isn't fake. You're not playing. You're not indicating it. He's experiencing it, and that's why it's completely truthful and believable and draws us in to this real pain that we can feel for this character. It's why we get so invested and engaged because it feels so real. It feels so real because the actor has got themselves to a place where it is so real.
And I'm not built like that, man. I didn't have a lot of friends growing up. I had a stutter when I was a kid. I was scared to speak half the time. And I got shitty grades because I couldn't pay attention in school. I didn't get into college. I didn't have any girlfriends. I don't think I'm funny. I always thought my brother was my best friend.
So when I'm working with an actor, oftentimes when they're doing a scene, I'm like, we got to discover it. Because as an actor, you have your lines memorized. You know what you're going to say. You know what you have to think about. You know everything. You know everything. But as an actor, you want your character to be experiencing those things and hearing them and saying them and seeing them for the very first time. So there is a sense of something popping into your head and discovering, which is a moment that kind of just took place. All of this is a discovery. None of it looks premeditated. None of it is anticipating what's to come. It's finding it and discovering it in the moment.
Like we just knew everything about each other. Except everybody thought he was their best friend. I
want to just stop right there because something like this, when an actor scratches their head or something, there are actors out there that want to place these things in, and that's kind of like playing or indicating, like, oh, I think it's going to be interesting if I scratch my head right here for this line of dialogue. Something tells me an actor like this is not going to be doing that. That was something where that urge came in the moment and he did it as character and it played. You're just trying to make sure everything is completely authentic and truthful. And if you do it as character, it's going to play and it's real and it's human. And they can keep it in. I'll bet there was several other takes where that scratch didn't happen, and for whatever reason, they decided to keep it in because it feels real. We do have things that we scratch and things that we move and things that come in, but an actor that is not engaged in that type of way might be like, oh, I can't scratch it because I don't want to cover my face with the thing, or when they do scratch it, they scratch it as an actor and it's kind of separated from what the character is doing. So I know that seems like something that isn't worthy of talking about, but in actuality, it is.
He was that magnetic. And I didn't know my brother was using drugs. What does that say? As we got older, I realized I didn't know anything about him, really. He stopped letting me into the restaurant a couple of years ago. He just cut me off cold, and that hurt, And I think that flipped this switch in me where I was like, okay, fuck you, watch this. And because we had this connection through food, and he had made me feel so rejected and lame and shitty and uncool, I made this plan where I was gonna go work in all the best restaurants in the world. Like I'm gonna go work in real kitchens, like fuck mom and dad's piece of shit, right? And it sounds ridiculous, me saying that now, but that's what I did. And I got the shit kicked out of me.
One thing I want to point out here is that we are still on that same shot. Initially, when it opened up, we were in that wide shot master. We were on the side of the kind of the audience or whatever he was talking to. We're seeing through those other characters that were seated. And then once we left that shot, we came into this nice, tight single. And we've been on this shot ever since with no cutaways. You can only do this if the actor's performance is completely and totally captivating and in it the entire time. Otherwise, you are forced to go to another shot to where things are more interesting, or we got to keep the camera moving to keep our audience engaged. The performance and the performance alone is keeping the audience engaged. There are other examples of this where you stay on a really long shot, but you know when they do that, the acting is exceptional.
And I separated herbs, and I shucked oysters and clams and uni, and I cut myself, and I got garlic and onions and peppers in my fingernails and in my eyes, and my skin was dry and oily at the same time. I had calluses on my fingers from the knives, and my stomach was fucked, and it was everything. And a couple years later, this funny thing happened, which is like, for the first time in my life, I started to find this station for myself. And I was fast. I wasn't afraid. And it was clear. And I felt okay, you know? I knew which vegetables went together, proteins, temperature, sauces, all that shit. And when somebody new came into the restaurant to stage, I'd look at them like they were a competition, like I'm gonna smoke this motherfucker. I felt like I could speak through the food, like I could communicate through creativity and that kind of confidence. You know, like I was good at something that was so new and that was so exciting, and I just wanted him to know that, and fuck, I just wanted him to be like, good job. And the more he wouldn't respond, and the more our relationship kind of strained, the deeper into this I went and the better I got.
As this character is talking about this and the story kind of unfolds, it is provoking out different emotions, from sadness to confusion to guilt to even, frustration, anger within himself. And all of that comes out from the work that he has done. And again, that's the only avenue where you want your performance to come, so that the actor isn't approaching a scene like this going, oh, I want to yell at this point, and I think I should take a second to get emotional during this point. That is not the right way to approach it. You got to do all of the work and let it come out how it wants to come out in the moment. And if the work is correct, it will provoke out in the moment what is necessary for that character and for that scene.
And the more people I cut out, the quieter my life got. And the routine of the kitchen was so consistent and exacting and busy and hard and alive, and I lost track of time, and he died. And he left me his restaurant. And over the last couple of months, I've been trying to fix it because it was in rough shape, and I think it's very clear that me trying to fix the restaurant was me trying to fix whatever was happening with my brother. And I don't know, maybe fix the whole family, because that restaurant, it has, and it does mean a lot to people. It means a lot to me. I just don't know if it ever meant anything to him.
And there you have it. A really talented actor in this scene that never broke away from that shot. You guys, I'm telling you, that is not an easy thing to do and to captivate the audience. And Jeremy Allen White did it exceptionally well. It's no wonder he's winning all of the awards. He is a really great actor. I will also say the writing, on the show is very good as well. That's always helpful for the actors to have good writing. I do believe, though, that a great actor can make even poor writing good. If you guys haven't already, like and subscribe. There's a lot of other videos like this on our channel. Click that bell so you can get the notifications when a new one comes out. Thanks for sticking around. We'll see you guys on the next one.